I'm going to show you guys how to open up a channel configuration in the VCM scanner so that we can get the data that we need to modify your tune. So open up your VCM scanner like we have here, and your channel list is usually going to be over here on your left. Now you can maneuver these windows any way you want, but in default configuration, the channel list is always over here on the left. Don't mistake these two open folders. This right here will open a data log. This right here will open the channel configuration because it's within the little channel window box here. So you're going to click on this icon. It's going to bring up some previously used channel configurations in this list. And what you'll want to do is click Open Channel Config here at the top of this list. What that's going to do is bring up a window. And what you're going to do is search on your computer for where this downloaded. And you're going to find the channel list that we sent you through email to log your vehicle with. So I'm just going to click on here and open. And what that's going to do, it's going to populate all the channels that we need to data log. So while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to configure the wideband channel. So many of you have different style of widebands that you use to data log into HP tuners. There's a few different ways you can connect these. One of them is going to be through the CAN bus. You'll have like the AEM X gauge and the Ballinger AFR 500 CAN bus. And what you'll do on that one, you're going to right click and add channel. There's going to be your ECM. Normally there's a TCM if you have an automatic transmission, and then there will be an OBD controller. Now it's not going to be displayed here because I don't have it connected to a CAN bus wideband. But whenever there is one there, you will select down through and add the lambda. I think it's a lambda 1 or wideband EQ ratio 1, and you'll add that channel. You'll actually see that it's this channel right here that it gets added. That's a CAN bus wideband channel there. Now, if you have an analog wideband and you have it connected to the MPVI-1 auxiliary connector, what you'll do is right click, add channel, go to the MPVI Pro, and you'll select which one of the inputs that you have it connected to. So let's just add channel 1 to the list here. Now that's not all you do. Now that you have the analog channel populated, you're going to have to right click and click transform. Now this is very specific here. A lot of guys want to see air-fuel ratio. You need to get air-fuel ratio out of your mind whenever it comes to tuning a vehicle. You need to use lambda, and I don't know why they label it equivalence ratio because it's not. It's actually a lambda. So you would select your wideband from this list. Now you'll see the Ballinger says that there's a wide version. The Ballinger has the option for 2 different ranges of analog output on the lambda reading. They have a narrow range, which is usually by default, and then they have a wide range that goes, I think, from like 40 lambda up to 1.36 lambda. So you'll have to make sure you have whichever one of these selected is how your wideband is actually got the switches internal set to. Obviously, if your wideband is not on this list, you can go down to the very bottom and click a user defined. Now this is where you'll use the transfer function from your wideband itself. This input is voltage divided by X plus whatever this is. So some widebands don't give you a divider, they'll give you a multiplier, volts times XXX plus a value to get to the lambda reading. Well, the easy way to do this, if you don't have the divisor, you just take 1 divided by the multiplier and it gives you the divisor. So for instance, let's just look at one of these right here. You see it gives you a generic equation down here for what that wideband is. This in particular is the AFR 500 with a narrow range. This divisor of 10.416, if you were to pull up a calculator and punch that in, 1 divided by 10.416. Yeah, we don't want 3 6s. This would be the multiplier that the pamphlet will give you. So it'd be volts times 0.096 plus 0.62 would give you lambda. So if you need to flip-flop between the divisor and the multiplier, that's how you do that. It's the inverse. It's a little math lesson for you. But anyway, most of the good widebands are going to be in this this little predefined thing here. But definitely pull the one from equivalence ratio, because me personally, if I'm tuning your car, I need to see the lambda reading from the wideband rather than the air-fuel ratio. So that'll get you on the MPVI Pro. Now, the same thing goes for the MPVI 2, 3, and soon to be 4. You would literally just add right here your Pro link. Those only have 2 analog inputs, either a red wire or a blue wire. You'll select whichever one you want there, and the same thing applies. You literally just, maybe this one, transform, and do the same thing. It gets added the same exact way as the MPVI Pro. Now, this is the last important part. You'll notice I have 4 widebands on right here. I only need 1 wideband. The reason this is important, if you have multiple channels on here that are recording a wideband or a value that isn't even connected to the thing, it's going to average the lambda reading from each one of these. It's very important that you only leave on this channel list the wideband that you need. So what I always do is delete them all off of here. And you can do that by hitting the delete key. So there's no wideband. Adding the one that you need. In this case, we'll do an MPVI 2, 3, or 4 again. We're going to hook it to the red wire. We're going to transform it. And we're going to use a Ballinger AFR 500. Now, whenever you start scanning your vehicle, this right here should give you lambda values. It's also very important whenever you do connect an analog wideband that you connect the ground trigger or the ground output of the wideband to the HP Tuner's device as well. What that does, it levels the ground plane field. That way there's less voltage drift on that analog input, because the worst thing that could happen is, this data is not accurate. Now, you always want to look at the value on this screen here on the log and compare it to what's actually shown on the display. If it's a decimal point off, it's not the end of the world. But, if you're in a wide open throttle pull on an NA car and it's the data log showing 0.85 lambda, but the actual gauge itself is showing 0.95 lambda, that's a huge difference and potentially engine failure difference there. We're only capable of adjusting these tune files with data that we're given. So it's very important that the data that we get is accurate. So be sure that your wideband is reading what it shows on the actual gauge so that we're for sure getting good data on our data logs. If you have any other questions, you can send us an email at info@shortuning.com.